Good, we've got people reporting in on all 3 platforms today. Welcome to the show, folks. And Journey there, welcome. Getting back to business now, so we're trying to get everything going as soon as possible. Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, I am your host Fontamin, and welcome to today's show. Today, getting back to business here, we're gonna go play some solo operations in World of Warships in a submarine, because I need to practice more. Right, and, the land manuals, right, Tazarin, I've heard the new German cruisers are actually very good. I kind of expected them to be good with, it was kind of a, yeah, kind of 50-50 on whether or not, manual secondaries were going to be that big of a meme or not, but yeah, the tier 10's basically a battle cruiser, so what's not to like here? There's also, I kind of want to just see the Deutschland because, hey, look, it's the Graf Spee, but it might actually be good. But okay, let me see here. Let me get OBS up here. You can probably hear the opening cutscene going in the background, but we're going to play some solo operations in submarines because I like submarines. And so I'm gonna actually, spec into this, even though the gameplay is somewhat simple and, riddled with holes. It can be complicated to do well, though, and, there is that Surcouf that will be gracing us at some point. However, yeah, I've got my eyes set on getting a Gato, but, it's gonna take about 12 days with the current, anniversary event going here. But, well, being a beta tester, and therefore being alive for, centuries, dormant but alive, did get a 50% coupon for it. So you know what? They're giving out free steel. I'll be able to buy the damn thing, and I want big torpedo, unga bunga, wahoo. Anyway, right. So, welcome to the show here. But I have acquired, in addition to the Balau, which we got for the New Year's event for free, I also have acquired the K1 by just kind of throwing all of the boosters and random shit that I got. And doing a little bit of grinding here. Also, I'm not sure if I actually showed this on stream, but during the anniversary event, I got a Constellation, which I kind of actually like. It's not quite the vintage of American Navy that I enjoy, but it's almost. It's about 10 years off, just a little bit here, but if you don't know what the Constellation is, it's basically the battlecruiser Lexingtons before they decided, well, fuck that, we're gonna make aircraft carriers, because we signed the Washington Treaty not because it was good, because it hampered everyone else. Which is why everyone signed it. The British made it up because they knew they couldn't compete with the rising navies of the world, and everyone else looked at this and went, this is terrible, but if we sign this, we'll cripple literally everyone else. But, the battlecruiser Lexington, it has torpedoes. But, I'm more of a Arkansas beta sort of person. Let's see here, whatchamacallit. I'd actually have to go and find the damn thing. Buried in the piles of ships that I have. Okay. Hey, wait a minute. So yeah, I put specifically... Right, there it is. This is the vintage of American Navy that I enjoy. That and the St. Louis, because everybody loves the Great White Fleet camouflage. Cage masts. I like old. It's not quite this. They don't really have anything like this running around, but there is the Congress. But I got the Maximilman as my tier 10, which I shouldn't be surprised being here for 10 years and getting absolutely nothing useful out of it. But they gave me a German aircraft carrier. Oh boy. Yes, and she has radar, which is kind of funny to see a ship from, like, what is it, 19? I want to say, like, 12? Like, what's the dating on 19? 11 it was drafted. Actually, no, hang on here. Battle cruiser, okay, laid down in, no, actually, no, 1920. Built in a response to the Japanese building, shipbuilding efforts. So 1920, it gets radar. There are ships that, of this, of later vintages than this that do not have access to radar because Wargaming said so. I find this funny. She's a very good gunship, though, but I'm not really terribly good at gunships. But, so, we're not doing that today. Though, speaking of the Issei before we leave, apparently, Wargaming's working on a Yamato, but it has the Issei flight deck. Just offhand, I saw that posted on X today, and, it's a Yamato with this, which, this is made out of steel from the Shinano and the 4th Yamato that was never finished. So I'm not exactly... What's going on there? I don't even, like, I don't really believe that. Believe that design is real, purely for the sake of, I don't even think anyone would have suggested this. Yeah, the Aki. Is that the name of it, Tazrin? Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there, but I know that this, the Issei and her sister ship, the Hyuga, I believe, that were refitted with these flight decks, these are made out of the steel that was reserved for the 4th Yamato. They got sunk at port. They got sunk at port as the modifications were being finished. They never even got their planes, which... oh, dear God. Right, so... We're going to go play the Bilao in K1. The Bilao, thanks to the event, does have a premium package, and I do like this camouflage. However, I'm kind of leaning towards the K1, not because I don't like American submarines, it's because I'm starting to find that a lot of things that American submarines do well, TM, aren't things you really need in ops, and if you try to use them, you will get yourself in trouble. I'm a weird person. The more options you give me, the more multi-role of a system you give me or a machine that you give me, the worse I do, because I can't really balance really multi-role terribly well. I'm very good with just one very extreme eccentricity. What does it do? What's its one thing? Then I can wrap my head around it. But so, where is my mouse cursor? There it is. If you want to keep your shit, don't touch America's ships. Well, yes, of course. Right, no, hyperdev. Yes, if you want to have a functioning navy, don't start a war with the Americans. That's typically, historically that's gone bad. But we had to establish that. Right. Also, yeah, Tazra, that's kind of funny. The bow planes, which retract obviously when it's not underwater, but with all the useless sort of, like, detail they put into ships, you'd think they would actually have those for, like, retractable or animated. It's very weird. Anyway, so, we're gonna play the K1 to warm up, and then we'll go to the Bilao. The Bilao has premium, but we have enough money currently. The K1's thing is it's Russian, so it's bad, but the torpedoes are very big, and it goes very fast. That's it. That's really it. They're not even really the highest damage torpedoes you can get in a sub. That goes to the Gato, and then also, by extension, the I-56 1944, which, the torpedoes do more damage the further they go. So, those are apparently the two front runners in terms of damage dealing. But, okay, so, Naval Station Newport, which is actually a kind of sketchy map for a submarine, but we'll do our best here. The best map for submarines I have found so far is Aegis, and a lot of other people have also found that it's Aegis, because Aegis allows you to skip over your team and head to enemy spawns before your team gets to them, so you get all of that delicious, delicious damage. I-400. The submarine aircraft carriers would be absolutely hilarious. However, I am waiting for the Surcouf, which... The sarcophagus is going to be a meme. I don't even care if it's good, I want it. So good, I recently got a 611,000 damage game the other night in my Libertard. Very good for you, Tazarin. She'll do that. It's a lot, it takes some effort because we don't, we don't have, operations with flagships anymore, so we're not walking around with, like, destroyers with 100,000 hit points, but, she'll do that. I have been taken by playing submarines, though, because it's interesting. The Libertard, though, is just, you sail it around and it works. However, unfortunately, now we got a problem here, and I'm gonna be competing with this destroyer for damage, which, well, it's a Shimakaze. So he's gonna have a fairly long reload time here, but we're gonna have to watch the lolly mode here. So we're gonna have to somewhat indirectly coordinate with him because I don't want to attack targets that he's already attacking, because I want all of the fucking damage. Okay, we want to avoid getting spotted there, and then I guess we're just gonna let this first wave go, and we're gonna get it. Well, you know what? The Shimakaze already has the same idea. We're just gonna let the first wave go, and then we're gonna pre-position to hit the second wave. Oh, both here, though. Okay, so I suppose that's probably far enough. Okay, those ships aren't going to get into a position to spot me, so we're going wait. I usually play this game in co-op, mostly that way I don't have to deal with people doing meta shit against me. Yeah, I don't want to play PvP at all, but I have absolutely no urge to play PvP whatsoever, Sonya, so I understand that entirely. I don't even want to play operations sometimes, so yeah, co-op battle has a point. When you just don't give a shit, and wow, daring there, firing all your torpedoes at shit you cannot see. Granted, he is fired at the Freddy, so we're just gonna now, attempt to take a crack shot at the Amagi. Which, yeah, we're gonna have to wait until he picks a path here. Probably about there. So he's gonna keep speeding up, so just gonna... We're gonna go on the assumption that he's gonna keep gaining speed, since you have to kind of play with them. Because the AI usually won't cheat that hard, depending on how they're spawned, because you will have AI that will totally cheat, but you'll also have AI that's just dumb as bricks. But what they'll do is when they spawn, they change direction and they gain speed, so if you fire at them immediately, you'll probably miss. Because they'll just change speed and slightly change direction, and then all of a sudden your torpedoes are going towards nothing. Some of those will hit. Okay, that's 2 of them. Okay, we got another salvo coming in for that. I guess we're going for the Freddy, though, because...
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ almighty. Well, those are my torpedoes. The Amagi is flooding, and now we're gonna try and get the fuck away out from everybody who's gonna try and shoot us.
We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
Okay, we managed to actually dip the depth charges, at least. Most of that damage was a destroyer shooting at me. And that Freddy actually fucking slowed down, so he didn't get hit, but, well, fuck you, you're flooding. You're flooding and your repair party isn't active, so you know what? I win. Yep, they're too close because my homing torps suck. Yep.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Okay, then.
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ. Yeah, the Freddy's got his hydro up. I'm at max depth, so I'm pretty sure they...
We're taking on water quickly.
You know what? Now, never mind, I'm gonna shut up.
Ship is on fire.
I'm at max depth! I'm pretty sure they can't depth chop... Yeah.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
I don't like playing on this map specifically because of that, but you know what, you have to sit back a little bit further in order to get anything done. 100,000 damage is not atrocious. Hey, those actually hit that target. 100,000 damage is not atrocious for a game you totally fucked up in a submarine, though, but that's just the first match of the day. Unfortunately, as you can see, if you fuck up, you will be killed by the, you know, by the depth charge planes. But the problem is, you can't really do anything against the acoustic, you know, the whatchamacallit, the hydroacoustic. So, when the AI pops that, you basically can't go fucking near him. And it's basically, in a submarine, it's like the game saying you can't play right now. Which is kind of annoying, but we'll oh, great. Well! I guess we're doing the same thing again. I guess this is the map today. And Sonya, don't worry. I've been here since the beta. I have no interest in the PvP, and I am gonna be the first person to say out loud that the PvP in this game has had its day. Everyone who's seen it, everyone who's going to see this game has seen it. Everyone who's going to play that has played it. The people playing it are the only people left that actually want to deal with that shit. Everybody else is either playing Operations, co-op, or is not playing the game at all. It's been 10 years. So let's try that again with feeling. Don't forget World of Tanks. I went in there recently. It's a dumpster fire. So, hold on. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, let's try that once again with feeling here, because this map, I haven't really played this map. Playing a lot of the other maps, this one's kind of rare. Or at least for like the last couple of days where I've been really trying to figure out, okay, what the fuck should I be doing? Okay, so we're just gonna... Okay, so the accuracy is gonna be atrocious, and also, yeah, do not fuck with that bomber squadron. Those planes are really fucking good. It almost makes me want, you know, the Japanese aircraft carrying submarine, so I can have more bomber squadrons like that. That's not quite how they would work. It'd kind of basically be like an underwater Issei, actually, honestly, if I can, you know, if we had to, like, come up with an idea of how it would work. But I almost want a submarine that's specifically based around directing aircraft. Just because of how good those squadrons are. So we're just gonna, you know, piss torpedoes out in the general direction of those two ships. The problem is that the area of, like, we can't really hit them, but, you know, homing torps are gonna be a waste of time, and also I don't even think my homing torps have the, well, now they have the range. Right, as of right now, they have the range. I will hide my torps. Yep. Okay. Sometimes you do, in fact, actually, just randomly hit things. It's kind of funny when you just kind of look at a formation and go, yeah, I'm just gonna fire at you, and you will actually hit things like that. Alright. What are we dealing with here? It's another Freddy, so we're gonna stay away from him this time. I could expend a whole lot of energy trying to kill the destroyers, with, you know, homing torps. Or I could go for all that damage, though. Which is kind of what I'm after in a submarine. Because while playing team support and taking out destroyers would be a good idea, you know, it would actually help the team win a whole lot faster. You don't get much damage, and those kills aren't really worth that much. I'm fucking hunting whales here. So I'm gonna be doing the Gato. I'm just gonna be unga bunga huge torpedo. Unfortunately, that's gonna take a little bit over a week. Very sad. Almost 2 weeks, actually. Unless they decide to give me more steel out of somewhere. Actually, all things considered, it's gonna be a while before I actually get there. I'm trying to get in a, like, a good position to, like, you know, to hit him from the side. But we don't really want to get that close anyway. So, I'll put that squadron up here. Just gonna send those torpedoes out. Generally, out there, it's probably not gonna hit all that well, and what we'll do is make sure this guy doesn't have a repair party. I will switch to homing, and I will take out this destroyer, because he's sailing right the fuck at me, why not? Catch, fucker! I didn't need that many torpedoes, but sometimes they fuck with you, so you gotta be sure. And it'd be really sad if I wasted all those torps and he's gonna get hit before I actually hit him. Son of a bitch. This is why playing a submarine is frustrating. This is also why I don't go for small damage targets like that usually most of the time. You will have this happen, where I am constantly competing with my team, and unfortunately, my bullets, otherwise known as torpedoes, are the slowest bullets in the game. So if I attack something that everyone's attacking, my shots are probably gonna get there last. Which means I'm probably not going to do really any damage at all. So you have to basically break away from your team a lot, which is difficult to do in a situation like this because, well, there's only really two directions to go in this map. It's towards your team or towards the fucking enemy. And here we go with that fucking Freddy again. Well, he's dead. I could survive one of these. Okay, good. We were nowhere near those. Fantastic. You're dead, so I'm not even gonna waste fucking torpedoes. You're also dead! Actually, no, you're not. Wow. I may tap him before he dies. Wow, I did it. I don't play this map very much in a submarine. I haven't gotten it in the matchmaker, and I've been thankful for that because, man, this is really kind of awful. Most people would actually point to, you know, one of the major problems of submarines, like the logical fallacies of having submarines here, because, as Doug put it a while ago, they exist in a completely different ecosystem. The whole fleet submarine idea did not actually really get going until post-war with nuclear submarines that were actually, you know, not slow as shit and could keep up with their task force. World War II submarines did not really succeed at all. They attempted, but did not really succeed at all at the whole fleet support. In this game, in addition to that, you basically just, you know, this game is a damage contest most of the time, and, you have to compete with your entire team for the damage.
Commander, we've been detected.
And that was ever so slightly too fucking close. Thankfully, those depth charges are landing far too far away from me to do any damage. At 2. Alright. Not great, not terrible. Said in a Russian submarine. Right, what about you? Because that guy's just gonna die now. Okay, first of all, don't ram into the fucking island. Away, steelfish. Away! I don't think I'm gonna get that second sonar ping off. No, I'm not. Alright, set up for new target. I could have done bonus damage, but the submarine on Russian submarines, or the sonar on Russian submarines,
Low battery.
kinda sucks. He's probably gonna die to flooding. Fortunately, I can't really surface to hit this guy. That's kind of an issue. You see, when I need my team to steal the fucking kill, they're not here. See, when I want to get rid of a guy so I can actually fucking surface and, you know, do other things, my team is never here. There we go. Okay, good. I am set up to play the... Back up a little bit there. I am set up to play the game recharge rate, and it's... Even though this submarine has a low battery capacity, the skills make the recharge rate for the battery absolutely hilarious. So at least there's that. So I'm gonna have plenty of time to sit here and wait for the Amato class battleship of some description to show up and farm all of my damage from it. That is what will make my game now. World War II submarines were mostly support in that they killed convoys. Yes. Which is why people argue that they shouldn't be included in this game. But this game is an arcade game. As long as they make the idea interesting, they can include it. But most people want this to be... They want this to be something like Rule the Waves or Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Where it's more like traditional warfare. More almost a sim than an arcade game. But it's fucking wargaming. That was really never going to happen. And it was pretty much obvious, even though we all hated, like, out of the gate. We all hated how the fire mechanics work. Because it was stupid and arcadey. It was never going to change. Everyone hated it. No one really liked it. And they never changed it because they're not gonna make a simulator game. It's really rather sad, but that's the way it is. And unfortunately, even if they did, it probably wouldn't be terribly good. Looking at you, War Thunder Naval, which is more like a simulator, but it's also awful. Unless you're a cruiser submarine, then you're just funny. Yes. The Surcouf exists in its own magical place at the bottom of the Caribbean. Sunk more than likely by Ernest Hemingway with a box full of hand grenades in a Springfield. Okay, so Satsuma. Okay, right. So we're just gonna... He's maintaining course. He's probably gonna turn at some point, but we are so fucking close, I probably will not be able to miss. Some of those will miss sheerly by the fact that, you know, they have spread, but I'll probably be able to damage him. Gotta watch that fucking destroyer over there, though. So this Satsuma is now supplying basically all of the damage for the rest of this game. This Satsuma will now supply all of the damage that I need to call this game, like, remotely a good use of time. Unfortunately, he then turned, but that one looks good. Okay, good. I caused flooding twice. Good. Fantastic. Okay, that destroyer rammed into an island. Funny. Okay, so what's the torpedoes like? I've got 3 more torpedoes. Fantastic. Do you have a damage control party yet? No! That means we shoot him again.
This is Base Commander. Aircraft carrier Lexington reach the base.
Okay, and then we turn back to avoid getting spotted, even though I think that might be unavoidable. Unless we submerge. Because we gotta play... There we go, just in time. More flooding! Good. Very good. Alright, so now we just pop back up. And this is really how you play submarines for the most part, because while you could play homing, it's really usually not worth it, because you need to secure the damage, and how you do that is dumb fire torps. Like, you're just popping in and out of, you know, submerged to periscope depth, shooting dumb fire torps at literally everything that you can see, and you do all the damage and make all the money. And he stopped flooding the moment I was gonna kill him. Fuck you! Fuck you! There's 2 more torpedoes, though. Fuck you!
Enemy battleship sunk.
Okay, I have no idea if this destroyer is gonna maintain course long enough for those torpedoes to hit, but just in case he does, God bless, get the fuck out of here. just in case that destroyer actually maintains heading and speed, which he probably will not. Here is a cloud of torpedoes. Wait a minute.
Battery depleted.
No, wait, no. I've got a couple of seconds before that actually will probably kill me, but wait a minute. Wait, no, there goes his engine, so hang on here. Wait, and they missed the last second. They missed at the last, yeah, you see, goddamn it. Okay, I need to get away from him. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be fast enough.
Commander, we've been detected.
Yes. Yes, I know. I am sailing away from I'm sailing away from the, the depth charge planes as fast as I can. I'm actually, funnily enough, too fast for them to depth charge. Maybe the speed on this boat is actually really good. It's, 37 knots, on the surface, but, boosted to like 44 with the skills is really funny. But I haven't found a great use for it. But that was an okay game because we killed a whale. And yes, World of Warships, of the 3 World of games, is the best one because they had the freest hand. Though then again, I could say that World of Warplanes actually had the freest hand, but World of Warplanes is hampered by the fact that they can't compete with War Thunder, and instead of trying, they just ignored. They basically let the game fail. They don't want to compete or do anything innovative with that game. Like the reimagining and complete overhaul of that game was amazing for what it was, but it would only happen because they knew the idea that they had sucked, so they had to try something. But after that, they don't want to do anything, so they're not pushing that game at all. So that game is not being marketed. It's not really being innovated on at all, and it's just it withers. It exists, but it slowly withers through time. World of Warships, however, has people still working on it that want to actually seemingly take it some places, very slowly in some fucking cases, but they're still there. The major thing is, the thing that differentiates this from World of Tanks is the fact that World of Tanks was the moneymaker. It came in first. It was their first hit in terms of like how they ran their business from that point on. That was also a curse. Like, it made all the money, and it's the most stable, but that's also a curse, because that meant that the people running wargaming didn't want to fuck with it, because they'd ruin their golden goose if they got it wrong. So that meant that World of Tanks basically sat there and stagnated, and that's kind of what it is. It's really a dumpster fire of stagnation. If you play it right now, it's basically all of everything you hated about the game still there, with a coat of paint on it that doesn't even really look good. Like, it's got all this interesting detail and interesting, new maps that look so cool and, in high resolution, and it's not even that good looking. It's not even that good looking, and it is if you stop playing it, it is still everything you hated about that game. Because they're afraid to change it. Because, they might lose out on the, the player base there, but, thanks to the happenings and, in Russia with, Wargaming's parent company, being eaten by the Russian government, the Russian player base kind of just doesn't really exist anymore, or rather, is under new management, and I don't think they're sharing. World of Warships, though, this has to, this still, if they just pivot to PvE, that's all they have to do. They just make operations better. They continue adding shit to it, and actually, fill out the game. They accept that they're a PvE game now and not a PvP game. The game is basically fucking saved. They still have to put effort into things and, hire people to make shit. Other than, this nice anniversary, scene that we're only going to see once. I mean, hell, it'd be shocking if this is actually still in the game after the anniversary is over. But as long as they keep adding content to it, once they accept it's a PvE game, the game will continue to exist probably better than any of the other games that it, of its sister games. My major thing about this game is that the mechanics in this game are seemingly sound. The design, unfortunately, is somewhat primitive overall, and the thing that makes the game really unfun to play is how players use the mechanics against each other. That's what sinks this game. Haha. It's not really the ideas in it, it's how they're handled in terms of, like, making them, like, actually, like, seeing them through, and then also how players have chosen to adopt the mechanics and use them against each other in PvP. It makes the game, it makes it awful. But when you switch over to operations, and, you know, when you don't run afoul into the, you know, the somewhat primitive design, you actually see that, hey, this is actually a pretty fun game. It still is. Even after this whole time, like, even, like, it feels more palatable. Even the things that we hate, like, say, the fire mechanics. I know I sound like I'm absolutely ancient, but hey, I am. I'm a beta tester. I am ancient. What also ruined the KV2? How did they... Well, they moved it to tier 6 because it was fucking overpowered. The KV1 at tier 5 with the KV2 turret was always fucking overpowered. It was funny, but it was always overpowered. Okay, Ultimate Frontier. Not Newport. Good. But this game, in being not the moneymaker, had a freer hand in order to, like, experiment and try new things and kind of grow into its own thing, which it has done. But the problem is that it hasn't really done so with any amazing amount of effort or resolve, which is kind of the main thing that's still holding it back. But, well, I don't see any value in playing World of Warplanes. I see absolutely nothing in playing World of Tanks. I still want to play this game, though, so, you know what? Hopefully, you know, hopefully the World of Tanks 2.0 update fails catastrophically, and so Wargaming looks at themselves and goes, okay, so unless we release an entirely new game, we kind of have to make this our thing now and actually put support on it. You know, support behind it. There's also Project Cold War, which they named it something else, and the name escapes me now, which was fun for the sake of originality. Dead Ringer, but a tank is still funny. It was funny to play. It was insane to consider, but fun to play. Really, really fun. I don't think those torpedoes are going to guide properly, but we're going to try. Nope. Okay, there we go. I need to get through these destroyers in order to get to the actual damage, but okay, good. We've got... I think those torps are going to track properly? Maybe? Hopefully? No, they're not. They're already past. Because... Good lord, the torps on Russian submarines suck. Actually, they may accidentally hit the other destroyer, which is interesting. Wait. No, they're past. I just looked at the fucking radar. Oops. Okay, so, here are torpedoes. Thank you for leaving me this smoke screen, though, destroyers. It was rather useful. I will make good use of it as I sink all of your battleships for ridiculous damage. Ping him so he uses his damage control party. That Iowa is not gonna survive long enough to get hit by my torpedoes, so fuck it. Okay, I'm not sure if he's gonna survive, but we're also gonna start shooting at this guy now. Okay, he's barely alive, but he's not flooding either. So this is what I mean. Like, you can skip over engagements and second guess where your team is gonna put their damage, and then proceed to not attack that target and shoot something you're actually going to kill, or get lots of damage. This is kind of what you have to do. Like, but in certain cases, you want to actually, you know, preempt spawns from across the map and not just farm the same spawn. Like me going for the ship in the back of the formation, middle and back of the formation rather than the guy at the front. Why don't I go for the guy in the front? Because my teammates are already shooting at that, and by the time my torpedoes hit him, he will be dead, and they will be wasted shots. And now I need to launch these torpedoes and get the fuck out of here before the Cleveland show up. Fortunately, that destroyer in there is still going to be kind of a problem, but, Well, we'll figure that out some other time. Okay, they are not in range to spot me. Yeah, he's dead by the time those torps get there. So, what about you? I don't, you know what? Here is 2 wild-ass torps in your general direction. Here you go as well. I am going to 40 fucking knots and getting out of here before the Cleveland spawn. See, when I'm below half battery, I get my speed boosted on, you know, on the surface here, and this ship is already fast. So we're going to like 45 knots, and I'm fucking leaving. Good day. Those are actually on target. That lead one might actually hit the destroyer. Holy fucking shit, that actually hit. Sometimes you get lucky like that. You just spew torps in their general direction, you win. But good day. I am at 40 knots, and I am leaving. Also, the KV-2 at 6 was perfect because it could punch up a bit above its weight, and if you were lower, Lord help you. Well, that was the KV-2 as well. The KV-2 could take on the KV-2 at tier 5 could take on tier 9s. I have watched, and actually been in part of, a platoon of KV-2s. This is like at the end of the beta. I have been a part of a KV-2 platoon with the 150, all of us with the 152s, and I have watched 3 tanks drive down the avenue on Westfield and turn their turrets to ripple fire and instantly kill a VK-45B. The funniest fucking thing I ever saw. We all just turned a corner, turned our turrets to broadside him, and he was instantly dead before he could do anything. From damn near full health, actually. I think it was like 80. Like, he wasn't at absolute full, but he was like 80 to 90% HP, and he just died. That's what you could do in the old days. Okay, so I guess because the destroyers are... they're not dead yet, the Clevelands have not spawned. That's, kids, that's a problem. We need to sort that out. That squadron is nowhere near those guys. Well, I guess those guys will handle it. No, in one of the recent updates, they messed with how HE worked, and it was a big thing because it had shifted to War Thunder at that point. But I still watched jingles, and it was apparently a big thing. Oh, okay, they fuck with HE again. They've done that several times. So, you know, HE's good, HE's bad, HE's good, HE's bad. They've done this several times over 10 years. Actually, more than 10 years, because we're talking like 2011. They've done this quite a few times. But really, I don't even find the gameplay of World of Tanks interesting anymore, because it is, if you played, like, I played the 2.0, you know, update for about fucking 15 minutes. It is drive your really big, cool tank to a choke point, and then fucking stop and stand there. Why do you stop and stand there? Because if you drive through the choke point, the enemy will focus fire you and die. So, what you do is you wait at the choke point. And you wait for the enemy team to attempt to play the game, which is, they're the guy that drives out in front of the, you know, the entire team, gets focused and died. Depending on who wants to play the game, who makes the mistake of wanting to play the video game, determines who wins and who loses. If you have more people on your team that want to play the video game and thus try to charge through the choke point, you will likely lose. It is the most stagnant, passive thing in the universe, seconded only by World of Warships gameplay for PvP, which is also passive and stagnant beyond comprehension. It's abysmal. However, here I can play operations, so I can avoid all of that shit, and if I don't feel like putting in any work at all, I can, like, do co-op battle and do a couple of, you know, event missions or some shit like that. Unless you're artillery. Yes! Yes, Tanya, unless you're artillery, and then you prevent camping. By shooting people, attempting to stand still. That will make them rush out into the open and then liven up the gameplay, right? No, it doesn't. That's never how it worked. It took them embarrassingly long to admit the fact that no, that's not how that works. It just makes people camp harder. All the nations HE, but this was back when I was in the last few years of high school. Yeah, they've done this a couple of times. Well, they did fucking with HE a couple of times. We are now finally at the second phase of the mission. However, we have killed a tremendous amount of time in, you know, just kind of standing here, you know, waiting for the destroyers to finally die. It's kind of funny how that works out. We actually now, or we're gonna have a smoother time, or a more chaotic time, depending on how you look at things.
Transport aircraft have arrived. Proceed to evacuation.
Where are they?
Until embarkation is finished and the transport aircraft leave base Roja.
Are they not gonna spawn because we took so fucking long now?
Support for attack
Nope,
aircraft.
nope, there they are. See, he's gonna keep accelerating, so I'm gonna fire the torps. That squadron is providing, like, reconnaissance. Or stable reconnaissance for about a minute, so if anybody spawns over there, I will know. He is not close enough for me to hydrophone, which is somewhat sad, but oh well.
An enemy aircraft carrier was spotted in the combat area.
Ah,
Destroy her.
yeah, we're skipping this very hard, but I gotta be careful about this. Oh, they're so out of range too. Also, I didn't really read the range on those torps anyway. What am I thinking? I only have 11.5 kilometers. Even if those are properly aimed, they're probably not in range. What the fuck am I thinking? And they're not properly aimed. Let's go kill the carrier. That's the one thing we can do properly. Because I have this habit of thinking my torpedoes because I'm tier 10. Why do I have to carry about torpedo range? I clearly have the best torpedo range, right? No. No. Sometimes I just do dumb shit and fire torpedoes like a moron. It's okay, though. The Gato has 16-kilometer range torpedoes. I will be able to hit basically everyone. I will be secure in my, you know, Unga Bunga US submarine. Okay, so it's probably okay to fire at him now.
We've been detected.
Oh, great, he's using radar. Yes, American cruiser, therefore radar. Well, they were firing at the one in the center of the formation, which means I will probably be able to hit the guy I aimed at. Hopefully. He's gonna keep going in the same direction. The only thing we just have to worry about him changing speed, which he may, but it looks like it's on. It might actually no, I think he's slowed down dramatically. But then again, there is some desync between where the torpedoes are on the map and where they are actually like going. Like there's some weird desync between like the icons for the enemies and where the torpedoes are. There's something odd, but it looks like no, they changed speed and the torpedoes have burned out. Oh well.
Attention. We intercepted enemy communications. A group of enemy destroyers have been sent to disrupt our repair base. Do not allow them to capture the repair base.
Well, hang on. Let me call in naval aviation. Unfortunately, that squadron is probably going to get absolutely obliterated before they do anything. But, okay, so what we can do is probably nick one of these destroyers with homing torps before we have to go. Can't stay here all day. See if we can get a... He stays roughly there. Cannot. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Doing the most damage possible. All right. So now we're gonna get the fuck out of here so I can surface and charge the batteries. I will do some damage to that. Yep. There it is. Okay. Fantastic. There's my damage. Fuck you. unfortunately, we're gonna have to go farther south here because there's gonna be more destroyers. Okay, that's Sherman. Right, that F Sherman's at 6 kilometers. That's my spotting range on the surface, which is, you know, how we know whether or not it's safe to come up and charge the batteries. Oh. Oh, goodness. He's right fucking there. I mean, yo, hooray, but also, oh no. Oh no. Yep.
Whiskey is fitted. Our repair base is no longer in danger.
Dive, and start backing up. And he turned immediately. Son of a fucking bitch. Son of bitch. Is okay. All we have to do is turn boat around and then fire aft tube. And then we get him, unless he turn and change speed again, which then, you know, then we look around, then we just sit here looking like idiots. I got a fire though. I probably should have pinged him before I did that. See, that's the thing. I have to work in the impulse to just ping the target for the sake of pinging him, because I like, you use the sonar in conjunction with the homing torps, right? So why would you need to ping? But no. No, you want to make sure he doesn't have a dam con, so that when you cause flooding, he floods. But at this rate, it might burn out before he gets there. I don't, no. There it is. Good, fantastic. He sped up. Okay, I'm gonna have to run again. Now I don't have enough time to turn around, and he's within 6 kilometers, so now I'm gonna have to run again. I will not have enough time, but... Oh, well, there you go. He's dead!
Battery depleted.
Right, okay, so that was kind of awkward, because I had to dodge the cruisers in the middle there, but 200,000, that's an acceptable game. 200,000 on a surface ship at tier 10, that is... Like, 100,000 is you were alive. 200,000 is you played the game. Anything higher than that is actually a good game. So that's fine. We're gonna have to try and maneuver in here to hit, like, the mains that spawn. But first, battery. But 200,000 damage, in any game here is... I played. 100,000 is like a pulse. If you can't make 100,000, you either fucked up immediately or you don't have a pulse. Okay, so good. Now we will go fast and reposition. However, unfortunately, we're gonna have to worry about hydrophones and radars. But we will go fast, because... Well, no, not that much. No, now it goes down again, because we burned out the... We got over 50% battery, and thus, we lost the bonuses. Unless you're not good like me, and you're happy to get over 20k in a battleship. Sonya, you need to get good. But then again, if you're playing co-op battles, there's not that much damage to go around. Operations, if you only did 20,000 damage in a battleship, sir, you need to get good. Like, all stuff, you need to get good. Like, in co-op battles where, like, the matches are over in, like, 5 minutes, and you get, like, maybe a crack at one dude, depending on how your spawns go, and then the rest are immediately killed by your team, okay, then maybe, like, 20,000 is, like, acceptable for some of them.
Commander, we've been detected.
Here we go. I'm too far away for them to target, though.
Stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
However, unfortunately, it looks like because they're behind the island, I'm not going to get in range to actually launch on the main. Okay, so we're going to have to try and get into range of the Seattle, and then maybe that's our game. We've only got 1 minute and 30 seconds left, so yeah, no, we're only going to be able to hit the fucking Seattle. We just need to actually get in range to actually hit him. Unfortunately, he is going into the gap, which means this is going to get... Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it, do it live. Fuck, the torpedoes are going in there, like, the spread on that bitch will make it as wide as that pass. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Now I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna fire the aft tubes and we're just gonna sit here. Or not, because the game immediately ended. Okay. Sure. We still had a minute left on the clock there, guys. Not sure what happened there, but that was an odd game. I'm playing Ops 2. Sonya, you need to get good. I'm sorry, you need to get good. Where's I on the scoreboard? Second place, because kind of everything got fucked up there. Let's give the Belau a try. Maybe we'll have better luck. Maybe we'll get Aegis. The Belau is not bad, it's just that I feel like a lot of the things that it sacrifices raw offensive capability for don't matter. Like, the sonar is much better. You can actually use the sonar to reliably just, pre-damcon whole swaths of targets. The homing torpedoes are good, but they do too little damage to really matter in most cases. And so what you're doing is you're doing the dumbfire torps, and at the end of the day, you have two loaders, whereas the K1 has 3. Even if your torpedoes do slightly more damage, he has a whole other fucking torpedo. So, same thing. Unfortunately, the nature of ops. Let's see what we can do here. See if we can take out these destroyers. Even though this is going to be kind of expensive, because we have 2 torpedo tubes.
Location and evacuation on transport aircraft. Warship commanders, clear the most direct route for the aircraft in the specified sectors.
Spotting!
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Ping! Ping! Well, he's slowing down. He's moved slightly, which is annoying. Or is he going that way? Oh, fiddlesticks, there he is, but... Okay, good. He didn't have an engine, so he's dead.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
He went the other direction, I thought it was the other destroyer, but oh well. Now he's on the other side of the smoke screen. We're gonna have to get closer, but that allows me to get more torps. Actually. If we can turn a little faster here. Okay, if he survives long enough to get hit by those torpedoes, that's fantastic. Got the son of a bitch, okay. Unfortunately, I don't see him, even though I did actually ping him. And I was not gonna get hit. Well, Colorado it is.
Good show.
Very many torps. Alright, so... I know he's out here. See, I'd fire at him, but the problem is I wouldn't be able to hit him. I'd have to turn all the fucking way around, and he's not worth it right now. Although, hang on here. These are like 95 fucking knot torps, or 98, like 93. Ping. I need to ping him twice. Ping. Good. You're dead.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
See, you can be very brainy with this, but it's like, holy shit, this is a lot of work. We're doing well, though, surprisingly well. But look at all that damage I could be getting! Look at all that damage! My goodness! I'm not gonna survive the winter unless I get more damage. And I also only have like 30 seconds worth of battery left. It's fine, though. Okay, they're very good about doing joke things, which, can you believe that back in the day, people actually protested adding horns to World of Tanks? I know. They hated fun. We could have had a General Lee horn on a BT-7. Think about it. Imagine. What a wonderful world that would be. Unfortunately, it's not a world where I can actually hit that North Carolina with that first torpedo spread. Very sad. I might be able to hit him with the second, even though that looks horribly desynced. You see how that looks like it's not going anywhere close, but it is? It's still not going to catch up anyway. Man's dead.
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, no! Oh, that bad. Bad. Dive! No one can hear the muffled horn underwater, but dive! Wrong button. I need to get the fuck away from them. I'm not gonna be in range to actually shoot them with torpedoes, but I will pre-de-damn-con them.
Battery depleted.
See, I know my teammates are gonna be shooting at them now, and so now they don't have any fucking repair parties. So that's what you could do as team support in a submarine. You could do that, just that. Just that, and you're actually useful. Have a drink, fine. Right now, though, holy shit, I need battery capacity! My god! I also need to get out of here before the other spawns show up. Because if they spawn in the center, I'm probably McFucking dead. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the recharge skills on this captain, because I didn't quite know which skills were actually used. Fucking hell. Actually, no, I'm too far away from them to actually shoot. Okay, good. No, he sees me. Son of a bitch. Ow. Well, I think this commander does have adrenaline rush. Those were homing torps. Did I do that again? Yes, I did. They're not going to hit. Actually, wait a minute. If they're homing, hold on. They might be able to back. Well, you know, they actually have to hit him first or get anywhere near him. I don't think they can turn around that fast, though. The thing looks very maneuverable. Well, that's what the consumable for enhanced rudder gears is for. That's for your emergency crash dives and oh shit moments. However, unfortunately, yeah, like, that battery skill that increases, you know, battery recharge below 50%, you need that. You need that. Like, it's kind of a learning experience. Like, the skill that shows you when you're in range of a radar or a hydrophone, or potentially in range, that's fucking required. As I'm seeing, the recharge rate, the recharge rate skill for being low on battery, because of how long operations are, is fucking required. I haven't played too much of high-capacity subs, though, so I'm not exactly sure what they need and what you could really do. But I've kind of leaned towards high recharge rate, get in, fire the dumbfire torps, get the fuck out. We were being, you know, tactical and having finesse, though, taking out all those destroyers. Unfortunately, I wasted all of my fucking battery, and now we've got to sit here lapping in the sun for our batteries to recharge. Watchable. Well, thank you, Warfrog. Welcome to the show. So this 10th anniversary event pass is very lucrative. I'm almost to the tier, what is it, 7 crate? I wish there was more steel, because I have the steel coupon. I want my fucking Gato. However, unfortunately, I know that the moment I buy the Gato, several months later, the Surcouf is going to come out for steel, and I'm going to have no steel. It's going to be very sad.
Warship commanders, transport aircraft have arrived. Proceed to evacuate.
Yes, now we're lapping in the sun, waiting for the batteries to recharge.
And the transport aircraft leave base Rohan.
You know, getting all the anime girls on deck here, and, you know, a Monster Energy drink. Waiting. I'll be able to take out the carrier, at least. Maybe take a swipe at some of the ships that come nearby. I really hope they don't actually... You know what? I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, because there may be a spawn literally right there, and if it's there, I'm dead. So we're just going to keep on moving. Unfortunately, being underway with the diesel engines does not increase the rate that your batteries recharge. Even though that's how it works in real life. You know, you run the diesel engines to charge the batteries... You dive, you expend the energies in the batteries, come back up, run the diesel engines again. We don't have that mechanic. Fuck, we don't even have snorkels. Which is kind of funny, because this is a Guppy Balau. This is a post-war remodification of the Balau, which I'm not sure if it had a snorkel, but it probably would. The Electro boats don't have snorkels, though, which is rather abysmal, but wargaming! They make an arcade game, and they selectively ignore things that ruin their silly-ass plans. Then they sit in fucking early access and, like, close testing for 3 years for a mechanic that comes out and no one likes. Only to sit there languishing for another 4 years, I think, before they put them in operations. Maybe more, actually. I can't even fucking remember. But until they put them in operations, and now everyone likes the mechanic, except they needed to get rid of all those stupid, horrible, you know, debuffs and nerfs that they gave them for PvP because no one wanted to deal with them. Fucking company, man. So a new sub will be a steel sub. Actually, we don't know what the Surcouf is going to be. Like, it could be a steel sub, or it could be a dockyard. Or, God help us, it could be a premium, you know, for doubloons. We don't actually know. Unfortunately, in light of recent current events, I can't actually say what I would like to do if they, for some reason, decided they wanted to put it behind a $200 loot crate. We have to actually take our language seriously, though, but I would be very angry. Very...
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of Christ. Crash dive! Wow, that's literally a whole ass force down here. Good thing I have battery power, but holy sweet Jesus, that's everything.
Attention. We intercepted enemy communications. A group of enemy destroyers have been sent to disrupt our repair base. Do not allow them to capture the repair base.
On the Russian server, it was the final prize in the dockyard. Was it a dockyard? Well, we need to see. It's in testing currently, so I don't think it's actually out yet. Last I heard of the boat, she had entered closed testing in this patch, and we don't know shit past that. So the super testers, once again, have the cool, awesome new boat, and we have to wait. But we also have German cruisers with manual secondaries, which are apparently a giant fucking meme. It's just that I don't really have the, like, I don't really have the inclination to grind for them right now. I have my Libertard. Okay, those are at a slanted... Okay, he's damn... Those will hit. Okay, those are tracking well. I don't think he's gonna have... He's gonna have his damn con up, but I might kill him with them. They'll hit him, though. And he's dead. Hooray! Okay, good. We did a thing. Now we just get as many fucking points as we possibly can in the remaining time. Okay, what are we dealing with up here? Obviously, we want the main, but I have to get through several things to get to the main. And even if I get through those things, I will not be in a position to really hurt the main. Because I'll come up to periscope depth and immediately be spotted by this shit. Might be able to get to Seattle, though. We've got all tubes loaded, depending on... He's gonna have to keep going straight, so... Actually, no, he's picking up speed like a madman. I think he's not gonna turn, though. I'm pretty sure that's just his path here. He's gonna go from here all the way up to here and then turn somewhere around here, so that might hit him if he maintains speed? Maybe? I know those aren't gonna hit. They're already lagging behind. Those were on. They're where they told me they would go when I aimed them at him, but I guess he just suddenly picked up considerably more speed. Actually, wait a minute. No. Actually, those will hit.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Okay, then. Disregard. I am a moron. Okay, so now we're gonna try... Actually, nope. There's another mate. Good. Good. Okay. Okay, so do we have... Because that main is gonna make it to the cap. I need to get in range to hit that, but okay, so do we have a okay, we're gonna have to get around the island. But we can, though. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna loop around the island.
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ. We're gonna attempt to loop around the island to the north here, fire off the torpedoes, and then leave. That's our game.
Commander, we've been
Oh,
detected.
Jesus fucking Christ. They're tracking me through a fucking mountain! Really? Radar through a mountain! Oh, Christ.
Hull breach. Taking on water quickly.
Uh-oh. That's my death. Son of a bitch! I should have kept going down, but radar through a mountain, guys. Really? Unfortunately, while we're still being, like, successful in submarines, the AI cheats like no fucking tomorrow. God damn it! That was going so well, too. I was probably gonna get over 200,000 there after I hit that fucking main. But unfortunately, terrain-penetrating radar was in play there. Very sad. Moving on. That's the one problem with operations. The mission design is clearly not really... It was not designed to handle this. And they've taken massive shortcuts, but their problem is there's still a lot of underlying shortcuts that cause issues like that. Like the AI basically knowing where you are at all times, knowing when you shoot torpedoes at them even when you're not spotted. Shit like that. And then also like carrier aircraft just knowing exactly where you are and standing above your head until you are visible, even though they should not know where you are. And have shouldn't have any reason to sit there other than the game going, I know where you are because the server tells me. And a bunch of other shit like that. There's a bunch of other small problems like that that just show you how, like, held together with chewing gum and bits of string that our operations is, and still is. Even though this should be the main, this should be the main game mode of the game now. If you want this game to have a fucking productive future, this is it. But what do I know? Oh man, non-PvP? Oh man, that's not meta. The kids won't like that. Looks over at Helldivers too. No, that's not hip. That's not cool. That's not the MLG esports ready game. Looks back at Helldivers too. No. No one wants that. No one would ever want that. Shut up. Looks back at Helldivers 2 again. We don't have anyone with hydroacoustic search. Here is a recon squadron. Good luck. I did a test in co-op battles, I'm assuming. I took my sub and went to the other side of the map as the game started. The other sub turned up in the same place. I definitely cheats. Yes, it definitely cheats. That's not the only thing that the AI does when it cheats, but yes, the AI cheats. Because, logically speaking, in order for the AI to, like, react to what the players are doing properly, in a lot of ways it has to cheat, and the AI has to be told what the players are doing even if they can't spot them. However, there have been AI that is very intelligent and can follow rules. Which is usually how most AI in most games are put together, but there are some very intelligent AI that doesn't fucking cheat. That logically passes information from each other based on if they can see the player or not. Looking at you, Fear. Well-designed, first-person shooter AI. Unfortunately, not everybody codes AI like that anymore, because, that's hard. So what they do usually is, in order to make the AI's basic programming work, which is usually just attack player 1 or attack player closest, is they make the AI cheat. And so they just say, go to closest player. The server will tell them where that player is no matter if they can see them or not. Like, even if it would be a player, if they can, even if it, in the place of the AI, even if a player would not be able to tell where, the person you're tracking is, the AI knows because the AI is talking to the server, and the server tells them where to go. And so what happens is the AI trips over the player and then begins to react based on, what happens when it trips over the player. That's how most AI works, and it's really fucking obvious that's what's going on here. Okay, so now we're gonna go up to the north and we're gonna shoot homing torpedoes at people, because this is actually one of those maps where a sub with homing torpedoes is actually preferable. Because trying to track all of these destroyers and cruisers in their tight little roundabout paths with dumbfire torps is an exercise in fucking frustration. So what we will do is we'll actually use the amazing homing torpedoes after we defang the entire formation. Sorry, lost his silhouette in the fog. That's not who I wanted to hit. I want to hit this jackass. I want to ping him again. Who pings? Good. You get all the torps!
Commander, we've been detected.
Of course, they can see me on hydrophone immediately because they're German cruisers, but fuck you, crash dive. I'm actually out of range for most of those.
We're hull below the waterline.
Those really should not damage me from when they're that far away, but oh well.
Problem solved, sir.
I do not know which boat I have hit, but I know I have hit a boat. Here is a torp. Hey! I randomly pinged and I actually got him. I'm actually hitting him. I've actually got his position. Ah! Go, my steelfish. Bother them. Okay, so yeah, if all goes well, I will be able to defang the formation of a single cruiser. Those are not going where I thought they were going. We're just gonna have to hope that those guide properly. I don't think they did. No, they didn't. Wait. Nope, they missed. They were going the right direction, but they missed. They lost track at the last possible fucking second.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Ping. Ah. He damn conned. Yeah, they're too far away now. Son of a bitch.
Low battery.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
I ping. That should actually go in now. Yep. Unfortunately, all of the aircraft are now going to sit directly on top of my head.
Battery depleted.
But fuck you, I've got a couple of seconds before I need to surface.
Enemy destroyer detected.
With my final breath, I mean. Hopefully they will hit the aerodrome. Please, someone get that torpedo squadron away from directly above my head. Please go away.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Please go away. Good. They went away, and I did not actually get spotted because of that. Amazing! They're coming back. Oh no, they're coming back. That's what the crash dive is for. Okay, good. Did I waste the crash dive? Yes. Am I better safe than sorry in that situation? Also, yes. See, now we're in the, hey, Fonto, you should have done better than that. Forgive me, I have not actually been practicing with homing torps, which is why I don't have a good procedure down for them. I can function with them, but I'm not specifically using them all of the time because I feel like every time I try to do that, I have awful games where I do absolutely nothing. And even if I do it right. Uh-oh. Mm-mm. 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 Mm-mm.
Commander, we've been detected.
Mm-mm.
We're holed below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
Well, I hit one torpedo. You have to be really quick about that shit, though. I'm working on those shots, too, where I surface, fire, and then run away. You know, immediately start diving, but... Yeah. Well... I can probably fire acoustics now. Not a terrible idea.
Battery depleted.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Who pings? Alright, good. Okay, she's out of range. I am moving directly into where the allied squad, well, the enemy squadrons are. Not good. Not good at all, but that's 2 torps. It's another flooding. Yep, she's being damaged. Good, okay. We did over 100,000 damage. I have a pulse. Wow. I feel like I need to really respect this captain, though. Because I feel like now I'm seeing like, wow, I've got not any of the skills that make playing the K1 really good. Wow, I'm a moron. But forgive me, no one's really wanted to play submarines beforehand, and neither have I. I've had the Balau, but I didn't want to play it until exactly this update where they, you know, added submarines to operations. But this is almost a year later after I got it, because we got it during the holiday. I got it for free during the holidays. You know, last year. We've had to wait until now, where I can actually play it in a game mode where I don't hate it.
Low battery.
Unfortunately, yeah, so, there's a wreck in front of that, and I can't really do anything about it, so I'm just gonna go over here. I might be out of action for this entire situation, which is kind of annoying. They're gonna kill that guy, but this is gonna be... I'm not gonna have the battery capacity to really do anything. Okay, what's the range of the... No, it's okay, but still not fantastic. There's wrecks. There are sinking ships everywhere in front of me. Like, I might be able to get a ping off here, but who the fuck? Nah, actually, what's the range of the sonar? No, he's 12 clicks. He's just only slightly out of range. But he's also gonna be behind an island, so,
Torpedoes, direct front.
Gonna try to hit the aerodrome over there. Oh no, no. Last thing I want to do is get hit by a fucking torpedo in a submarine. Nope, actually, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to hit the fucking sonar so I can hit this asshole, which is about really the only thing I can engage. Eat shit! He's already dead by the time those get there. Son of a bitch. Wargaming made the submarines the most frustrating boat you can play. They did it on purpose. Well, that's actually not true, but true in a different way. They made them frustrating on purpose because that's what all the feedback from literally all the other players told them to do. Because no one wanted to play submarines. So what they wanted was to make them so awful no one would play them, so they don't have to fight them. This is why listening to player feedback is sometimes a terrible idea. Because a lot of players are absolutely shameless and will say, nerf the things that counter my style of gameplay. Nerf them into the ground so that nobody does it, and then I'll win every game! Some people do that. Some people unapologetically do that and pretend, like, turn around, smile, and say, no, I have standards. No, of course not. Interesting quote by Henry Ford. You know, inventor of the automobile, or rather, inventor of, you know, the first mass production automobile. If we had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So, sometimes your player base is not the people to ask. Granted, developers have a really bad habit of not listening to anything that their players are saying, but listening too closely leads us to, well, submarines, as you can see them, where they're absolutely mangled because no one wanted to fight them, and so all they did was, like, suggest things that made them basically unplayable. Especially big YouTubers and Twitch streamers. Yep, those people will do that, because, hey, I have a vested interest in playing a game and being happy, you know, peppy, being really excited to play it. And I want to play it one way, and I want to win every time, because if I win every time, people will say that I'm good, and they'll watch my content. You know what I want? I want everyone that isn't me to be nerfed. Yeah! Why? Because that means I'll win easier, and I'll make great content and make all the big bucks and get all the viewers and subscribers. And if you're a female Twitch streamer, you'll get, like, people buying you random shit on Throne. Random, really expensive shit on Throne. Yep! I myself am a streamer. I have been here for 9 years. I will be the first to admit that no, people fucking do that. I have standards, but of course, upon saying that, of course, someone like me would say something like that. I'm being entirely truthful, but of course, the person telling you of the wrongs of the world will say, I am not like that. Right? Of course. But in this case, it's true. A lot of streamers who are popular walk in and demand the game be changed to their tastes, even when that's a terrible idea. I have a habit of looking at the game and trying to understand what things do before I start saying, oh, well, this should be this should be this should be this.
Commander, we've been detected.
Because, of course, when you're playing, you know, when you're playing a game like this, you have to understand what the developer's intentions are, and if something is against the developer's intentions, it's highly unlikely that they will fix it. So you kind of have to compromise with the developer saying, okay, I see what you want to do. I see what you're intending to do. This is not working. It should be working like this. Then it does that. That's more constructive, but a lot of people are, well, they're fucking retarded. But sadly, a lot of those people have more viewers than me. So unfortunately, I can't tell them they're full of shit. Unfortunately, my voice does not affect change in the video gaming industry because I'm not cool enough. The number next to my name isn't high enough, so I can't tell retarded people to shut the fuck up, even though a lot of those people are probably using viewer bots. The things that I would do with my power. Oh, the things I would do with power. But unfortunately, people know someone like me is dangerous, and that's why they try to not give me any more power than they want me to have. Which in most cases is none at all. Even if Wargaming doesn't love us, we love you, Fonto. Well, thank you, Sonya. I have very good friends, and though my viewer base is very small, I can say that honestly I know most of my viewers by name. Almost all of them. So, really my audience is my friends now. And that means, whenever I do make it big, you're all gonna be very easy to track. Rage quit! What? When you say sub, you're supposed to say power bottom. Heck. Wow, okay. What? T-Dog, is that kick coins? Like, what is that? Is that bits, but kick? That's new. Did you just send me $5? What is that? That is the first time I've seen that. If that's actual money, thank you, T-Dog, but, All I ask is, when you get big, is keep doing what you're doing. I will try to entertain people, but man, do I need a break. However, if I get big doing what I'm doing right now, then obviously, you know, I'll have an excuse to continue doing it. But if I get, you know, if the ship comes in another way, I'm probably going to take a break. And then I might be able to do the things that I actually wanted to do in the first fucking place. All of which I've had to sacrifice in order to keep the lights on, you know, and keep doing this, you know, cracking jokes and playing video games, which some people find entertaining. However, unfortunately, looking around at the current state of these websites, and also the amazing decisions of my wonderful peers, my wonderful famous peers, darlings they are. Every single one of them left me for fucking dead. It's somewhat unlikely that I'm going to be able to strike it big now. It would be very interesting if that happened, but I don't really have any cards to play unless that's going to come literally out of the sky. Right now, a props to nothing, with no input by me whatsoever other than what I'm doing right now. So if there are several thousand viewers, paying customers that wish to arrive and throw money at me and make my name known around the world. That'd be very interesting. However, I can't do anything to actually incite that, and it's gonna be a while before I can actually do anything other than exactly what I'm doing right now. So, revisit 3D animation? Probably not, but we'll see how that goes. Do want to make an RPG Maker horror game if I actually have my way. I would write books, but unfortunately I know that nobody reads books aside from women. And all the books that women are reading today are pornography. So that's not really gonna work out there, but an RPG Maker horror game, that might actually catch wind. That might actually catch the wind and float up there a little bit. That might actually get my name out there. Will I be the next Toby Fox? I would like to be him, but not insufferable, thank you. Even though I don't think he's that insufferable, but his fan base sure is. He sure writes for people to encourage, all the most insufferable people to crowd around him, but he apparently doesn't interact with those people either, so that's rather odd, isn't it? Ah, yes, I'm a great person. However, my writing attracts the worst people on the planet. That's a terrible superpower. So maybe I don't want to be that, but different. Or maybe I just like money. Right? It's not really the success or the fame or seeing people talk about me like an absolute narcissist that makes me, smile, right? Like a narcissist, right? No, it's just money. Money is nice. However, I do make things that entertain me, and, I kind of want to show them to other people and get them to say how cool it is. Though, frankly, of my means right now, if I were to make several $1 million overnight, give me about a year, I'd suppose, and a dedicated team, I'll make a half-decent RPG Maker horror game that might be something actually compelling. And we'll see what happens when we go from there. I just followed you on YouTube. Well, thank you, Warfrog. Welcome to the show. It's, seen better days here, but we're still here, we're alive. We will figure it out, won't we? T-Dog, dangerous words there. But, well, if I have an excuse to continue streaming, I will. But, man, do I need a break, and I need to renegotiate my terms with how I do this shit. But that also means that I'll probably be doing more effective shows, right? So if I were to get the breathing room that I need, that I didn't have to rely on streaming to keep the lights on, I'd probably do less streams per week, but they'd probably be better streams, because I would have to, I'd have energy. I'd be able to rest. I wouldn't have them running my life. This means I would have time to actually sit there and go, all right, I'm doing, human things out there in real life. And then when those are done, I get to sit and debate, okay, so what do I want to do for this stream? And then I come up with all these funny ideas that make the stream better as individual streams. Unfortunately, I don't have time or money to be doing that, even though it would be beneficial. However, I'm out of fucking ideas, and I do need to stream to be out here. I need to be out here in order to make any money to continue living. I am in your match. Is he in my match? He is!
Let's give them a hard time.
Also, I have to be very careful in this match, though, because if I go over and I try to actually get the fleet too early, it will absolutely ruin the game, because the Hanover will spawn and it will kill half of my team. I have to be very careful, because I can ruin the game very easily. Oh, it's a stream sniper. Well, joke's on you, reverse Uno card. I can ruin this game so there is no sniping. Joke's on you! I can ruin the game for everyone here before I have a chance to be stream sniped. I'm not going to do that, though. But also, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, on the side here, not to be, panhandling too hard, YouTube's holding a check on me. Kinda need about $40 to pay a check in, about a week's time, so, donations would be helpful right about now. I was supposed to get $101 from YouTube. They still haven't sent it out. And that bill needs to get paid by next week, so, just another day being a streamer. Good, I didn't collide with the propellers of the Incom. Good. Well, Warfrog, welcome to the show. Thank you for subscribing. However, unfortunately, I kind of need that money from direct donations, but again, just a minor thing. We'll figure it out. I did not fire those correctly, and they were all wasted. Wow! I am a genius. Unfortunately, that does support me. However, I have to wait until next month for that Twitch paycheck. Thank you, Wartron, for assisting next month's, shenanigan, where we kind of spin plates here to keep surviving. But I survive, somehow, with the help of my wonderful audience and my friends, somehow. But let me tell you, not the help of any of my fucking peers. Or if I do get assistance, it's from small people. Like, me, or smaller, like, for example, DJ, or Kix, or people like that. People that are actually good friends as well, streamers. However, unfortunately, they can't exactly make me famous overnight. But I suppose I started streaming in order to prove a point, not just to make money. The fact that I could do something myself without someone just throwing it directly into my lap. However, unfortunately, yeah, my plans haven't gone so well, and looking out there at the world right now, especially in the world for streaming and entertainment online, yeah, so everything's kind of gone to shit. So it may not even be possible to really do this, or you're doing it in a very strange way that doesn't really articulate the fact that you're entertaining. Doesn't really prove anything. The more this goes on, it really feels like I'm doing a weird-ass freelance corporate job for, like, YouTube or Amazon via Twitch or something like that, where I'm taking up, bandwidth here to stream, but it's, in order to make them money. And, the more we see content on, like, websites like TikTok and YouTube go, the more it looks like people have taken to this corporate job as a way to invent brainwashing for them. So you keep people interested, so you make ad revenue for these corporations, and then some of it goes to you, but in an ever-decreasing amounts, as we see by what's going on at YouTube recently, where all of a sudden everybody lost a bunch of views, and YouTube's like, I don't know what happened, maybe you should turn off your ad blockers. We didn't change anything. It must be something to do with those damn dastardly ad blockers or something like that. Maybe you should turn them off. But it really starts to look like, honestly, this entire field where you guys might be entertained by me right now, but it really starts to feel like professionally, at a certain point, I become I am more like an engineer crafting brainwashing material than an entertainer, which is not what I signed up to do. But it seems like this is where this career path is going. It's very disturbing, and at the end of the day, while I know people like me streaming, I have a kind of a mind to say, hey, look, guys, the party may be over here. I might want to get out when I can and go do something else productive. It'll be entertaining. I'll try. But I don't think this format of doing things is really quite what it should be, or what it used to be and what it should be at all. Maybe it's morphing into something altogether more different and kind of fucking disturbing. Those are not gonna reach the target in time.
We've been detected.
We have already lost 3 battleships. Those are the NPCs, but still. Good lord. Granted, I haven't done a single point of fucking damage yet. But that's just me sailing around talking rather than playing the fucking game. And, you forgive me, the enemy ships keep moving around so I can't actually hit them.
Repel air attack.
Well, my planes hit them. Wow! Thanks, Bomber Squadron. This is gonna be an awful match. I might be able to get Adler, though. In fact, you know what? Fuck that. Alright, this whole match is junk. This whole match is junk. I'm pre-positioning to at least get Adler. That's what I'm gonna do. 100k spotting. Actually, yeah, shit. But fuck that, though. I'm gonna pre-position to get Adler. That's gonna be my whole fucking game now. I have had a terrible fucking game, but I will make sure the carrier dies. For whatever minuscule, modest amount of points that gives the entire team. I would at least use my advantage as a submarine to do something of value for everyone else. But as I said, the more I look at this career path, the more I see, quite frankly, I wouldn't put it past any of these companies to now be keeping people where they are, small and not really all that amazing, you know, in terms of numbers, in order to keep them running this treadmill for them. The amount of manipulation going on, I don't think any of this is honest or natural anymore, and it really is just about maximizing profit for the platforms and not to do anything else of any value. So, the more I look at this, the more I go, this has been made into a fucking racket, and it's not worth it anymore. Now, there are some people who have gotten farther than me, who have lots of money. That's good for them. However, there are some people that have gotten slightly farther than me that aren't quite, you know, amazingly famous or rich. The way I look at things now, those people may never get there. Just one day they'll get tired of it and they'll quit and they'll go be normal somehow. I'm not quite sure how to, think about this, I suppose. Haven't quite made my mind up yet, but, well, if something happens,
Commander,
something should be happening, and I actually have my chance to step away, maybe I should fucking take it. Maybe I should realize that the place that I am in right now is more like a prison instead of a gold mine. And maybe it may not be whatever it once was ever again, due to too much fucking meddling. So it's usually what ruins literally everything, right? All the attention, people come in, the more people that are here, the worse it gets. I really do miss the internet when it was just a bunch of nerds doing nerd shit and no one gave a shit. Everyone was out there in the real world, outside, touching grass and doing all of this important thing that, you know, they profess to actually be out there. And since the advent of social media, it would appear that those amazing, important things that were out there that the nerds weren't doing, that was like a point of comedy to these people, either receded in existence or no longer exist or were proven not to exist. So everyone in their mother right now is, you know, sitting here terminally online watching fucking anime and shitting up my board.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
It was better when the normies were outside, determined to think that, hey, we're living life, we're doing something. We're doing more important things than sitting inside in your room all day, in the basement, on the computer. I actually wish that, you know, more people actually kept to that, which, you know, not because it is true, it's because it kept the assholes off the internet and made the place a little bit better, and, you know, brightened up the place a little bit. Wasn't as run down as it was before. Old Man Goon, yes. Yes, Old Man Goon. When I remember that what I did was nerd shit, and all the normal people went outside and touched grass, and they said it was the best thing ever, and, they went to malls, and they had goth girls there. That was their natural habitat. They're extinct now. We see them occasionally online, but, you know, most of them are cosplaying attention whores, and some of them aren't even girls. It's not the same, I say. No. Back in my day, the goth girls, they went to malls, and they grew on trees! You know, in the food court.
We've been detected.
I'm gonna kill the ship that I didn't want. Actually, no. I nicked him. I'll still hit the carrier, though. Shockingly enough. I will blow the ass out of the carrier.
Problem solved, sir.
Ah, yes, but back in my day, in the malls, in the natural habitat of the goth girls, they would grow on the trees in the food court. They would be harvested by the workers at Hot Topic. Ah, remember Hot Topic with like the two Invader Zim T-shirts and all the the bands that suddenly really just stopped existing. I haven't really heard of any. Like the emo goth bands are all gone now. Like, who the fuck talks about Alkaline Trio anymore? I've not heard that name said out of anyone else's mouth in years. Whenever someone says Fallout, they don't think Fallout Boy. Everyone jumps to saying Fallout 76.
Battery depleted.
Bring back the blue light sales at Kmart. Ah, yes, the blue light sales, where old women would spend entire days inside a Kmart store, waiting for random sales to pop up and random items around the store, and then they'd go on a treasure hunt. I'm going to die here, but I fucking killed. Well, actually, I didn't kill it, but I assured the kill. I assured the kill of Adler. I did something modestly important. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the old middle-aged women that would sit around the Kmart store, inside the Kmart store, for 12 hours, waiting for these blue lights to pop up. It was so whimsical.
Commander, we've been detected.
Aircraft carrier time? Oh, but I don't want to play aircraft carrier. But, you know, DJ, welcome to the show, DJ.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Unfortunately, I will die here. No, actually, no, I'm fine. Crash time. You cannot hear the horn underwater. I'm blaring the horn and annoying the entire crew.
Battery depleted.
But to circle back, yeah, the internet was better when not everyone on the planet was here, because not everyone on the planet thought of it as some kind of lottery or gold mine. You know, back in the day, it was just, you know, a place where a bunch of nerd people with nowhere else to go would go, and they would talk about nerd things, and they would play video games. That's about it. It was better back then because there were less fucking annoying people, honestly. And now we see yet again the true statement of all. You know, hell is other people, and money is the devil. Because the money, being the devil, brings the hell that is other people. So the more people you have in an area, usually the worse it gets in a lot of ways, unless you keep very strict control over things, which unfortunately is fucking impossible. With something at the scale of the internet. And you know, guys, I remember the Digimon movie. I remember when we were all gonna come together as a people on the internet and save the world and make sure, you know, peace and happiness reign forever. And no, we're not getting that fucking ending now. Nope. Nope. Sorry, Willis in America. Nope. Everything's fucked. Now, what am I gonna play for a carrier? I mean, well, you know what? It's right fucking there. My amazing Max Immelman! Just awe-inspiring reward. This is probably the worst map to play carriers on. The awe-inspiring reward for existing for 10 years. Manual secondary time. Yep, manual secondary time. Because fuck this shit, I'm not gonna hit anything with planes on this map. Fuck you, I've got 15.1 kilometer secondaries. And no repair party. back when we were all managers at Circuit City. Yes. I remember being a manager at Circuit City. I was never a manager at Circuit City, but I remember my role as a manager in the great Circuit City of Metropolitan Avenue, and I once sat in around a bonfire in Parlay with the cashiers at the local Radio Shack. Give me enough time and I'll create very entertaining material in this style, I swear. And in my defense, there was in fact a Circuit City somewhere around metropolitan area. I know there was a fucking Radio Shack, though. It existed. I've also come to the conclusion, if I inherit this apartment building, I'm gonna turn the basement into a land room circa 2008. Probably circa earlier than... DJ, why would it be 2008? Why would you want a LAN party room circa the housing crisis? Nah, man, go back earlier. Man, you gotta go deeper than that. You gotta go back to the launch of the Xbox, where we're like daisy chaining, like 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, man, yeah, 4 different Xboxes together in under LAN control and attempting to play Halo 1 with 16 people on a single fucking screen. Everybody, like, we're all on hang 'em high, and everybody's screen space is like the size of a 2x4. I've seen this done once before. It was kind of magical. It wasn't in person, though. It was just, some jackasses on the internet, but this was YouTube circa, like, 2006. Fucking making tape hammocks to fit everyone. Ah, yes, back in the days of the ancient LAN parties of the primordial QuakeCon.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Where we would all expend massive amounts of effort to move our computers into a single location for like 5 hours, maybe an evening, and then we would play Unreal Tournament and other LAN-capable games, and then we would watch X-Play on Tech TV. Oh, that Adam Sessler. He was far funnier when he kept his fucking mouth shut and hurt himself for entertainment value. Morgan Webb was the real one in control of that show. I remember that one spread she did with Playboy. It was rather interesting, incredibly fucking difficult to find images of. Libertard gameplay, that I can do very easily. I'm probably gonna wind up dying, but I will attempt to survive as long as possible. I hate this map. This is a terrible map to be playing carriers on. Either that or a Dutch cruiser. Well, DJ, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to Whiskey anymore. I don't have any Dutch cruisers, you moron!
Problem solved, sir.
Sir, no, we're not playing Foxhole anymore, DJ. No, we're playing the fucking Libertard, though. Moving on.
Torpedoes to port.
People may not like me because I make these jokes, however, I voice the pain of myself and other people because holy shit, we're never playing Foxhole ever again. And even if I wanted to play Foxhole ever again, I'm not getting more than 2 fucking people to help me with that shit ever again. And we know whose fault that is. Oh. Uh-oh. Well. I'm escaping to the one place not ruined by wargaming! Nowhere, actually. I don't know where I'm going with that fucking joke. They've ruined everything. This will be the part where I escape to the RTS view, but that shit don't exist anymore! I can't actually leave the squadron, by the way. I have to stay here until I expend it or die. I'm going to use skip bombers against battleships and do absolutely fuck all. Especially when I fuck up the strike and don't actually launch the bombs. Okay then. Moving on now. Going to play the Libertard. Then buy a Dutch battleship. DJ, I don't think she's for sale. And no. Both in and out of joke, no. It's in the shop. DJ, I don't have any fucking money to do that. In fact, right now, I need to pay a bill, but I'm waiting for YouTube to send me a fucking check, which they may not actually send. It's steel. Do you think I'm gonna waste fucking steel on a random Dutch boat? No, I'm buying a fucking Gato. Unga bunga. Big torpedo. Wahoo. Unfortunately, they haven't put the Wahoo in yet. But, you know, it might be a really... really daring thing for wargaming to do right now after they finish the Sarkouf. They could put the Wahoo in and have it be powered by racism. Because that's legitimately the captain of the Wahoo. The man spent the entire war being incredibly racist by the Japanese, and he was very successful for it.
Save our base structures from destruction. Reconnaissance data suggests the principal attack will be launched in 10 minutes. If the outer radius of defense is broken...
Anyway, when are you doing a subathon? When I have any indication that that is going to be a productive use of time. It's the new cool hip thing. DJ, subathons are not the cool new thing. What are you talking about? DJ, I've been streaming on Twitch since 2018. Subathons are not new. What are you talking about? It's September. That's also not new. Wait, no, I think I'm playing a submarine here, but I'm the size of a fucking, of a city block. Wait, hold on now. I'm also going the wrong fucking way, too. See, this is what happens when I try and start making jokes. And I forget which fucking ship I'm playing. I'm already not good at the game. This is just disastrous, really. Absolutely fucking disastrous for the quality of my stream. Really try hard with the jokes, though. Oh, yep, that's, yeah, we're not making that, we're not making this Yui here. I'm gonna have to try and probably do a 3-point turn here. You act as though I also haven't been streaming for the last 6 years. DJ, when I met you, you were making Hearts of Iron 4 mods. I mean, you were also streaming coding, but you weren't really doing the same streaming gig you are now. I'm on Stellaris now. Oh, look at this guy. He's really moved up in terms of 4X scale. Yes. Galactic scale, even. Crazy train boat. Yes, boat. Boat. I'm trying not to fuse it with the islands here. Moving down in the world. Nonsense! You've upgraded from map painting simulator to war crime fluff simulator. That's all I ever hear people talk about in Stellaris.
Reconnaissance reporting. Second attack launched. Attention. destroy all enemy forces before the principal attack is launched.
Camp Island is just Camp Cliff, but on water. Well, Crazy Train, then I'm a lighthouse, I think?
Support ship breach battery 1. Restoring
Stellaris makes me cry. Well, what could possibly be wrong? I'm sure it's better than map painting simulators with good writing that people can't leave the fuck alone, so it's not good writing anymore. Hey guys, I made a really cool piece of writing. I'ma ruin it slowly, because I can't fucking stop myself. Signed, every single Hearts of Iron mod. What are you talking about? I love French man declares war on reality. I'm partial to the South African War, which doesn't exist anymore. In that one angry German man that has a very squeaky chair. You heard about Mine Comfy Chair? I've read the South African rendition. Mine Squeaky Chair. I hate it. Throws it out a fucking window. In a fit of rage, and then chemically strikes U.S. servicemen in South Africa. We had to try to figure out how the fuck you get America to declare war on those people. Because remember, it's supposed to be Vietnam, and we're not supposed to be at war with people, even though they totally are at war with people. Have you checked your clocks lately? I don't know what the fucking state of Tabaritsky is. I need to go back and see Funny Clockman through to the ending, though. I need to actually experience Midnight, but I may have to go back and use the Legacy version, because I think they fucked with him, too. Comey's seen hilarious amounts of revisions, probably because it's absolutely massive. Comey is one of, like, the biggest focal points, but the thing about Comey is that while it's all great writing, the only thing that really is entertaining is Tabaritsky. Like, it's great that they went through all this, you know, these different shades of development and detail with all of these characters, but at the end of the day, TNO's major draw to fame is that they have extraordinarily good villains. And it's fun to watch them make everything worse, including themselves. But the thing is, that kind of overshadows anything, like, interesting that they do. Like anything else.
Torpedoes to starboard.
By the way, is the Captain Torres mod going to make a return? I should really reinstall that, but then I have to figure out exactly how to reinstall it again, because you have to go in, and you have to, like, jam it into the correct version mod folders. I have to go back and find the mod as well, which I believe I have saved. I have to re-extract it and then move it over, and I need to actually go into the files and fuck with that. I haven't found the energy or time to do it.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
As for that Hearts of Iron mod, I left after the head dev and I got into an argument over Finland, where he was disputing first-hand reports straight from the Finnish army of the Winter War and their logistics. That argument was also the most heated one I was ever in, where at the end we started insulting each other's choice in Wow. Wow, DJ. Wow, this did you suddenly become, like, just old, drunken European men there for a minute? That sounds like it degraded into that kind of argument. It sounds like that kind of argument you'd have over the Winter War. Did you win? Yes, I won. Good for you. But that sounds like you all just, you all channeled crotchety old European men having a fucking argument about the war. Now, these reports are accurate. No, they're made-up falsehoods. They're signed by the Supreme Commander on that front, who is also a liar. Fuck you. You like women with beards. It's about the time where someone breaks a bottle over the side of a bar and then, you know, you have a fucking homicide on your hands.
is on fire.
That is it's very sad. That's very sad to hear there, DJ. Yeah, I wouldn't speak to that person ever again either.
Problem solved, sir.
Twitch auto mod, what's wrong with you? Okay, well, it learned the error of its ways. Rather, DJ, aren't you a mod, DJ? What? I'm pretty sure you are. I am. Ah, thank you, Tazzer. Right, it's the sword. Right, my bad. Sword. That's not the icon. It's not the crown icon, it's the sword. Right. That's the mod symbol. Thank you for doing your duty, Tazrin. Thank you for years of service in this regard. But yes, while we're sitting here talking, I'm basically just moving the Libertad back and forth, back and forth. Letting the secondaries kill literally everything in sight. Go. Forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards. Got a friend that used to be on the team for TNO, but I forget what he did. Well, generally when it was released, it was in a, you could see where it was too big for its own britches, but the writing there was fantastic. For the most part. Some of the shit was stupid, but however, I will actually, as a writer, study Russian reunification. Because it's just the most fucking entertaining spectacle I've ever seen. The South African War could have been done better, I suppose, but, well... I can see where it's somewhat difficult to maneuver that, because it doesn't really function, in any other way other than the way that it functions. However, the people that are championing now to have straight up removed the German Civil War from the game are just dumb. Also, to this day, the person who thought, I'm gonna take Warbell and make him big boss, I have the fucking, I have the West Alaska flag on my wall. I'm gonna give that man a high five. That man deserves as many high fives as he wants. That's fucking brilliant, even though it's basically a joke ending for the setting. You know, all these very serious Russian politicians and former generals jockeying for, control over Russia. You have all these, these famous people that were in the Communist Party, or they were czarists as well, and they were still alive at some point. And then you have Big Boss. Basically Big Boss. Meanwhile, the other dev for the Solaris mod is really cool. Barely works on the mod until he gets a burst of inspiration and does like 90% of the work in 5 hours. Spends most of his IRL time playing random board games for fun, including War for Africa. God help him. One of these days, when things are better, I suppose I will try to play. We'll have a room in the house and we'll attempt to play something like War for Africa, and it will go exactly how you think it's going to go. And that it becomes very slow, stagnant, and we get bored of it and probably won't finish it. He is apparently undefeated at it. Does he win by default every time? Is that why he's undefeated? Does everybody have, too many things going on in their life to continue playing a game? Because that shit takes weeks. He says he wins by conquest. Conquest, I see. But, it was, generally productive. Me and Martin played, one night played because we had bought it. I can't remember which variation of Risk it was, but it was some sub-variation of Risk. And me and Martin played it, and Like, we sat there writing the lore for Servan and, Sylvanas and Vasco da Sia. Some of it actually sticks. Like, some of us like, right, this is how this would work out if in this situation.
This is Base Commander. Aircraft carrier Lexington.
We're sitting there drinking for about 5 hours playing this fucking, like, this weird-ass variation of Apocalypse Risk. And I swear to God, we came up with the entire fucking lore for
The ship is on fire.
everything that happened in Amtia in the run-up to the last war. Literally everything that happened in not Africa, Vietnam, Rhodesia at the same time.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
I may die here. Bottom text. I should get you and the others in your server to play Magic the Gathering on Tabletop Simulator.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
I'm not quite sure how that would go. Also, my mother is calling me, so hang on here. I will have to take this call. I'm gonna die here, so hold on. Why did I pause the game? I'm already not playing. Why, people probably wanted to see that, but nothing important, folks. Just my my mother wanting to know why my grandmother isn't picking up the phone. She's probably asleep out in the living room. The Super Bush War. Yes, that's basically what it was.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Because do you know what happens when one empire sees another empire about to start a fucking war with them and they don't really want to have that war right now? They leave a lot of people to die. So we bricked out, honestly, most of what happened there, and it's somewhat important for, how the whole world works. But yeah, so, Sylvanas had colonies, and they were in not Africa. And then, the communist rebellion that you would expect from going along with having not Soviet Union, Vasco da Sia there. They were, those communist guerrilla groups actually sprung up, and, the colonies were defending themselves, and Sylvanas went, these are backed by the Vasco da Sian state, and we don't really want to start this war right now, guys, so, we're not really gonna get all that involved, and then things escalated, and then, some people had some funny ideas. They were servants. They tried to false flag, and, that didn't work out so well. And, rather than rallying to the defense of the colony, Sylvanas just kind of went, yeah, we're still not gonna help, but here's some guns with the, the serial numbers filed off. And then, eventually they kind of just made it illegal to, have mercenary, anything in Sylvanas. So, yeah, it kind of left everybody in Amtia up shit's creek without a fucking paddle. I guess you shouldn't have, tried to go the Vosh into a war you couldn't win, guys. Oops. But it's okay, though. As Vasco da Sia, or the Vasco da Sian-backed states took over, not Africa, they destroyed all the useful infrastructure. So, they didn't really win anything for it. Oops. Okay, so second super ship last night. I picked up the Clausewitz. Well, I hope it's okay. It's been an hour and World of Warships is still updating. So Red's very sad. Anyway, more Submarine. So yeah, there is an entire, like, we bricked out a lot of stuff about that, and that's kind of how we run up to the war, and it's somewhat important for just general world building, but also somewhat important to some things that come up in The Dead Sylvanas as we planned out the story, but unfortunately that may not continue as intended. However, I will say this. probably one of the first potential ideas for that RPG Maker horror game is just straight up making the Dead in Sylvanas a game. Like, finishing the story of Mr. Bailey going on his magical adventure, and Miss Yulia, and just making that a game, rather than finishing the story as we intended as a tabletop game. That is, like, bullet point number 1, first fucking idea we're gonna try. That's only if I, get a ton of money, can take a very long break, and find a group of people that can actually help me make that a reality. There's also a couple of other ideas, like, like fucking, like, anything out of the tackle box of ideas that's overflowing. Like the story synopsises I come up with every other fucking stream for a new idea. And then some of which I remember and slightly update, like, for example, the one that I remembered the last time we were playing The Division, which, it's actually based off of a Manfred Mann album. It's actually it's based off of Angel Station, and it's rather weird, surrealist adventure, but it would make a very good RPG Maker horror game.
Good luck and fair seas.
This is the base.
Probably one of the most surreal ideas in there, because I don't really typically do surreal, but it's one of the ones that stands out the most in that regard.
On transport aircraft. Warship commanders. Clear the most direct route for the aircraft.
And yes, Dancing Fool, the Voshkotestian backstates did, in fact, win a bombed-out shithole. Way to go, Comrade Arusovad. You wasted all of that effort, and now all of the amazing infrastructure, and also, basically all of the competent personnel who could run this infrastructure are dead or destroyed entirely. Way to go.
Enemy force detected.
What an amazing idea that was.
Commander, we've been detected.
We had to modify the rules in order to get the result, like any kind of results, because that game can stalemate really fucking quickly. But we also had, like, amazing things to whereas you can only have 2 units attack a single location at the same time, so you get 2 dice. And so what we did is we modified that, and we had, basically as many... Like, I can't remember exactly how many we allowed, but basically as many as you had available to throw at it, you would get a single dice. So you need to roll, like, 4 or 5, like, above 3 in order to, like, or 3 or at least, 3 at least in order to get a successful attack. So, in the closing hours of the Antean War, where, I can't remember where we were defending, but it was somewhere on the Atlantic coast of Africa. I think it might have been, like, somewhere around Morocco, I think? Somewhere around there? So, it's like we're talking, like, Casablanca area. Think about that. We didn't put a name on it, it was just that area. So one major city on the Atlantic coast of Africa, right? Northern Atlantic coast of Africa. So, this city is completely fucking surrounded. We have, like, 2 units standing guard in the city. Or, like, on the tile that the city is in. And it's surrounded by hordes of units in every direction, so, again, the endless hordes of communist rebels coming out of the African jungles. Martin had 8 dice to throw at me. He rolled all ones. They actually held that city for a respectable amount of time, as you would expect the servants to do. Even if they are servant colonists, but still servants. They're about as British as Rhodesians, but still. So we have wonderful moments like that. All the amazing lore and fame that, they gained during this amazing conflict. It almost makes you forget about all the people who died with absolutely fucking nothing to show for it. But oh well, said the servant, those people should have just gotten good. See, this is the kind of thing we come up with in the background when I actually have some time to think about, the servant and Vosh world. But I said play Destroyer is good. I did not see that. My bad. We'll play... Well, GG, I'm a Destroyer that can kind of go up and down. I will play Destroyer next game.
We've been detected.
Oh boy, we're gonna have an awful game here. I've been waiting on a support ticket for a refund for World of Warships for 3 days. I meant to grab the Missouri package with doubloons from the World War II event compensation, but I got distracted by what I thought was an emergency. Accidentally bought the Archangelisk instead. Oops. That's kind of a big whoops there, Isaac. Sorry about that. That's probably, it's not your fault, obviously, but yeah, that's, it's the Mo. It's point blank the most profitable premium ship in this entire game. Remember, any ship can be a submarine once. Yes, and a coffin forever. By the way, this thing does have deck guns. They're useless. They do like 400 damage, which I will die horribly before I get a chance to use that.
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ. Oh. Yeah, you. Yeah. I am in a terrible position, and I'm not doing anything productive.
The ship is on fire.
I did get a torpedo hit, though. Just kind of wildly firing all the torps in that general direction over there. That's the bomber squadron. Here I am trying to think of jokes and material, and I'm not playing the fucking game properly. Oh well. Now, I'm gonna hope they maintain speed and direction, but, something tells me that the AI will be retarded and probably not do that. But they go in a straight line, so they shouldn't move that much. Hopefully. That is, Well, Tavarish, it's the beach episode! Woo! Oops.
Commander, we've been detected.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ! You're not invited! No, my beach episode in this anime doesn't have a plot component. It's just a beach episode. Fuck you, go away! Leave me to my fan service!
Problem solved, sir.
They wish to see the sub girls in bikinis, Goon. Well, they can't fucking have them. But we're gonna have a nice time on the beach with no plot and no major like undertones or foreshadowing for anything. It's just a nice beach episode. Though granted, this is actually probably a pretty safe position to be in. Because, you see, nothing comes over here. Like, nothing spawns here, and nothing spawns over here. They usually spawn over here. So this is actually a pretty safe position to roost if you want to. Let's actually try that, actually. Because submarines are new, and so everyone's experimenting with how to utilize submarines and what kind of map plays. The only thing you really understand at the end of the day about submarines is that you start looking at the maps differently. You need to understand where the enemy spawns and where they go and which paths they take, but in, like, your placement, since you can be invisible basically on command, you can kind of fuck around with that and be in places you normally would not be able to get to. So wait, hang on here. But then again, you know, unfortunately, as soon as the enemy spawns, they typically have radar up, because, of course. Hell, the AI may cheat and know that I am a submarine near them and immediately pop that, because they cheat. Wargaming considers it dynamic gameplay when it's blatant fucking cheating.
Warship commanders.
But the game is still fun, even if we have to deal with these, this hackneyed bullshit that we really should not have to deal with after 10 years.
The transport aircraft leave base Rohan.
However, it's nice to have PvE games to play, though honestly, if I wanted a PvE game that's actually fun, we should be playing Helldivers 2. But I like submarines. I wanted to be good at something in this fucking game, and it looks like they finally delivered submarines as something to do. Even though it's not fantastic, it's something that requires a little bit more effort than being a secondary battleship, but isn't frustrating in that, in terms of, like, playing, like, normal surface ships, right? You're involved and you're doing shit, but it's not like, standing around and if you do the wrong thing, you instantly die, and, like, which is most surface ships. Granted, you can still instantly die in a submarine, but I don't know, it feels more involved and different. Which it should, it's a fucking submarine. Also, I'm looking at this rock, and I'm thinking it's that rock over there. Television's getting worse, sadly. Oh well. I guess I'll play that one game in Destroyer, and we'll call it an evening. But like I keep saying, I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of things that I want to do, but unfortunately, streaming takes up a lot of time and energy, and it's also not rewarding in terms of time and, in terms of, like, breathing room and money for me to ever really step away from it. I never really got out of that stupid fucking spot. And every time I thought I got it made, as David Bowie would say, it seemed to taste was not so sweet. My plans didn't really work. Things that looked like they were going somewhere didn't really go anywhere. And the people that looked like they could really change, my situation and turn things around didn't stick around long enough to do that. So, yeah, I never really quite got out of the spot. I still may, though, but that would involve something completely different that's not streaming, and if I were to get that, I would seriously begin to question if this is worthwhile doing at all. Because then I could actually stop, rest, and actually start to do the things that I wanted to do that streaming was only supposed to be the stepping stone for. It was supposed to be able to, provide basic, income so that I could...
Commander, we've been detected.
Here we go. Well, I found them. They're probably over there. Who shot me? Where is he? Yep, there he is.
We intercepted enemy communications.
And what happened? They came in immediately. Immediately with radar and hydro up. But like I keep saying, I would need time to sit there and actually think in terms of sleeping. First thing I'm doing if I get a chance to have a break is sleeping. Well, absolutely fuck the Annapolis.
Destroyed.
It's not what I wanted to do, but you know what? That's a kill. Okay, now we're just gonna sit here and stalk the Montana. It's not a main. Interesting. So we're gonna sit here, and we're just gonna fire torpedoes at this guy until he drops dead. I'm farming you for damage. And if I get all the damage that you have, I will actually have had a successful game. In a really fucking silly way. Even though I've barely fucking contributed. No one cares about that though. Unga bunga, torpedo. Big damage. He changed speed. Well, some of those will cause flooding, though. He's slowing down and speeding up. Actually, he slowed down to avoid those torpedoes. You son of a bitch. Okay, well, fine then. If I can't accurately shoot at you, I'll just spray torpedoes generally everywhere where you're going. I know you just go ahead in a straight fucking line. I'll use that against you. As we're going there, so what we'll do is we'll go those behind the line, and then we'll go forward of the line with the next wave of torpedoes. The sea will become torpedoes. Sadly, I never did get that Kitakami. Then he sped up again. I didn't think the Montana AI would cheat this much, but yep, they do that.
Low battery.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
But there are a lot of things that I want to do that streaming was supposed to support, but more or less wound up getting in the way of. And I had to sacrifice them in order to keep the streaming gig going, in order to keep money coming in. But unfortunately, the money coming in was never enough to really be able to step away from it. Hell, it wasn't really ever enough to honestly, like, make the stream here a little bit more theatrical in terms of having things to do, or even the Patreon. I got stuck in the weirdest fucking spot imaginable, where I had to continue doing work, but that work was yielding less and less, so I couldn't really expand upon the work and grow. I just kind of stayed there for 9 years it's been. So, first thing I'm gonna do is fucking step away and sleep for a while, and then when I get back up, I'll decide what is feasible.
Commander, we've been detected.
Because man, like even though I want to write, I'm not exactly sure of my writing quality. Because I was supposed to have learned that, increase that in terms of, how my writing was put together and in terms of how professional I am. But I didn't really have time, nor okay, that barely missed the sail. I didn't really have time, or I wasn't really in the calm peace of mind to even sit down and read books. So as a writer, I've done actually dramatically little reading. Most of that was stress related, and also time related as well. The only way to get good at writing is to write, or to write. Yes, obviously, but unfortunately, I could neither read nor write. It's actually somewhat amazing still that I even managed to get even the first part of The Dead in Cervantes to actually be completed, even though that took like 3 years. Because, everything kept draining the life out of me, and it was a struggle to just even sit there and try and do it. Though I look back, and at the time that I started it, it really was now or never there, because things only got worse. In terms of, like, how my life was going and my situation as a streamer. So that was really the only time for it, and there would never be another time ever again.
We're hull below the waterline.
Not dead.
Flooding quickly. Problem solved, sir.
So I do want to fix these things, because I know I sat here talking like I was going to do things. I promised I'd do things, but I never really wound up doing any of them. And don't worry, that, there's no one that bothers more than me, because I wanted to do these things, because I thought they would be interesting and, valuable to do. Sadly, literally everything that possibly could have gotten in my way got in my way. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot to show for it either. I survived it, somehow. But only just survived it. But if I get what I'm expecting is coming to me, I should be able to sort out some of this, and then we'll figure out exactly what the fuck else I can do. I'm not dead yet, I'm only 34. I feel like I'm already dead and I could use a couple years of my youth back. If this was all gonna go so poorly, I would have spent it, you know, more wisely, but wow. No one gets to actually choose these things, though. Nobody can go back and fix these things. We just live. We clean up the mess as best we can, and then we keep on living somehow. Now, what do I have for a destroyer? I don't have a tier 10 destroyer. What do I even have for a destroyer? Oh. Well, that would be probably, yeah, I don't have anything above tier 6. But I do have a destroyer we can play. It's not the Gremmy, because you all know that's there. No, I'm gonna get an even rarer Pepe. Not the Ohotnik as well. That's also funny. No, we're gonna play the Kamikaze horror. Which anime girl do I throw in here? Which, man, that's a lot of anime girls. Well, you, Ayane, why not? I actually, know something about your anime. Even though I did watch Arpeggio a long-ass fucking time ago, I don't remember a fucking thing about it. It's got a nice paint job. This is from the first event that this game ever had, and it was actually quite something, and this once again shows you how fucking ancient I am. No, we don't need skills where we're going, we're just going on a cruise. However, the one thing that I do want to see is tier 5, tier 5 and lower ops. So tier 3 and tier 5, tier 3 to tier 5 ops. Why? So I can use all of these meme ships that I fucking have. Of course, the front runner would be the Gremmy, because the Gremmy's broken. The Gremmy's so broken you can't have it anymore. But I also have a lot of meme ships that I do want to play. Oh, they get... I don't think this originally had engine boost. Well, that's funny. I don't think this had engine boost originally. So she has had some modifications. It's not just the cool paint job. But I would like to use these in operations because it would give me a place to play things that I got a long-ass time ago and would actually probably enjoy. It's just that I don't want to play PvP with them because PvP in this game is awful. I'd like to be able to do something productive with them. So what's the range on these torps? 7 clicks, okay. Right, didn't misread that. Right, okay. Yes, 7, and the spotting range is 6 without modification. Boy. Here's an assload of torpedoes. Catch, fucker. And the AI, being the AI, will sail directly into the torpedoes. See, the PvP's fun when it's easy. But a lot of things are fun when they're easy. That doesn't mean they're good. Unfortunately, we don't make shit out of this one, but it's nice to actually give the old boat a bit of a stretch. You went back in time and told me I would be playing this right now, with nothing really good to show for it. But I have a commander anime girl from a series that isn't even about ships. I'm not quite sure what my reaction would be. It would be something though. Ah, damn it. The Scharnhorst got stuck on the wreck. That they all hit the turret and shattered. And that's the end of the smoke. Oh well. And he's dead anyway, though. Fire torp at him, but he's dead. Because welcome to co-op battles. Though, aside from what I'm still doing in World of Warships 10 years on, well, I suppose my younger self would have a lot of questions about, about how things are going in my life, and unfortunately I haven't got a lot, at this moment in time, I haven't got a lot of positive things to say. So much so that I probably wouldn't say any of it. Well, if he keeps going, that speed, that heading, and the torpedoes are going to miss. But what about the second salvo? What about that second salvo? Those will probably hit, right? Right? And no. Son of a bitch. My younger self would probably ask, why are you so bad at destroyers? Weren't destroyers our thing? They were at the beginning. And then they weren't. Well, all right then, ladies and gentlemen. Well, suppose we all have treasures hiding around here somewhere in our lives, but that doesn't mean, unfortunately, they're worth anything. Until, suddenly and shockingly they are, but we'll see about how that works out. That's our stream for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, though. I have been your host, Fontaman, and thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.